afternoon. How are we all doing? How is everybody today? It's fine Wednesday, CPI day, interest rate day for the CAD. It's a busy one. Afternoon outro, evening even for you. FDNet, how are you doing? Mark, Fletch, CK, Paul, Crom, how are we all doing? Right, so today is a busy day because we've just had some CPI. Morning, Lucas. Afternoon even. I keep forgetting it's the afternoon session. Just had a busy, we've had a busy day for news that hasn't done anything, but we've just had the CPI numbers come out for US, all came out exactly on forecast. So good job US getting it right for a change. So yeah, exactly where they were forecast to come out. So not a massive movement today. We've had quite a bit of yen movement. You can see all the yens have hit ADR today, apart from the Aussie yen. But not really any movement on that US. So we had a spike on the US news, but nothing particularly exciting. So it's just undone itself. So we had a spike up on the news and retracement. So yeah, nothing really exciting there. The CPI, we were expecting a bounce and we got a bounce, but the bounce was tiny. So I don't think it's going to really make much difference to monetary policy for the US. Still undecided what the US is going to do because we've got Trump coming in next month, and that's really what's going to determine direction. So we will see. Afternoon, Barry. Afternoon, Silky Sil. Good afternoon. Outro. Do you not trade the S&P anymore? No. No point. Just the Nasdaq and the DOW. Nasdaq and the S&P tend to do the same thing the vast majority of the time, so you're just overexposing yourself. CAD rate is coming out in 15 minutes. They're forecasting a 0.5% drop, so there is a possibility of some fairly decent movement on the Canadian dollar in the next sort of 15-20 minutes. The expected movement would be Canadian down on the interest rate drop. However, what we're really waiting for is 3:30 when the press conference comes to pass, because that is where they're going to decide forward monetary policy, which is what the banks and institutions are going to use to start changing their bias. So what will probably happen is we'll get, assuming we get the 3.25 in 15 minutes time, we'll get probably a spike and a hold or a whipsaw off of it, and then to around about 3:45 to 4 o'clock, once the press conference is over and we've had the questions asked of the Bank of Canada, the market will then make its move and make its decision on where to go, assuming it changes its mind and wants to do something. It may just sit there and be crap. We'll have to wait and see. We've got crude coming out as well at 3:30. Tomorrow overnight, be aware that we've got the unemployment rate for the Australian dollar as well. They're forecasting that to go up, which will be negative Oz. So be aware that's coming overnight as well. Tomorrow's a massive day as well. We've got the SNB rate, and then we've got the Euro rate, and then we've got the PPI at 1:30. So tomorrow from literally 8:30 in the morning all day, going to be some serious movement potentially on the Swiss franc, the euro, and the US dollar. So big day tomorrow coming up. Broken long on the Nasdaq, no trade on the Dow. We had quite a strong move on this, so we are getting close to ADR, which is slightly worrying on this NAS. So I might close this out prematurely, but we'll see what happens. This morning I got hedged on the DAX. We broke both ways. You can't see it's behind my head, but it was a nasty hedge this morning. Not nasty, it was just a hedge. All hedges are nasty. So yeah, we broke short, then we broke long, then we sat around and we did nothing basically all day. Then we got a bit of news and now it's starting to take off. So couldn't do anything with that. The FTSE was a lovely clean break. I got out way too early on this. I saw reaction at this high, and we sat around for 25 minutes, and then it started, it was this candle here, it started to look like it was reversing, a 3-bar reversal going in. So I decided to close the second part. The first TP was there. I was holding the second part with a trailer, and I decided to close it literally the candle after I closed it, bullish engulfing, and it didn't look back to 125 ADR. Second TP was at 5. So wrong decision today. But I traded what I saw, and I saw resistance. So got out. But way too early. So yeah. So that's paid for the DAX hedge. Whoops, there's S&P. So we'll see how these go. There's no trade at all on the Dow today. Pre-market range was too big, and the opening range is too big. It's more than 20% of ADR at the opening range, so no trades on the Dow. NASDAQ obviously was broken long. I'm going to keep a very close eye on this today. It's pushing really hard. The thing we've got, obviously, in just under 10 minutes, we've got the Canadian rates coming out, and the US will typically move off the CAD rate. So what I don't really want to do is get hedged on it, but I'm up 250 odd on the morning, so we'll keep an eye. Morning update. Afternoon, Peter. Right. So ADRs today. The only thing we've got moving is the yen. So CAD yen. That's already happened. You missed it. So the ADR hit was there this morning. So that was that whipsaw. So this news we had. Let me just quickly go over the overnight news. There was nothing really overnight that happened. To move the market, but this morning we had two major news events which were unscheduled. Well, it was really one, it was this, but China's top policymakers are contemplating allowing the yuan to weaken in 2025 as Trump tariffs loom. So what they are looking at doing is weakening the strength on the yuan to combat any tariff increases that Trump puts in place, because there's a hell of a lot of Chinese export into the US, obviously. So that's kind of their stance on trying to combat that. And obviously we had a big spike off of that on the US yuan. Then we also had the Bank of Japan officials not against a rate hike in December. So potential weakness on the yen coming off of the back of that. So obviously we had a load of OPEC stuff as well this morning, which didn't really look at particularly, but so what we got was a big spike on the yen on that move, on that news coming out. So all of them hit ADR, but it's just not news what the news was, which is typically the case when you get unscheduled news. It's not usually news. You just get a V-shaped recovery or an A-shaped recovery. So it's quite difficult to get into any of these today. The 5-minute reversal alert, you can see it's just a mess. Really, really hard to get any entries on any of these today. Price action was weird. So you had a tight reversal on the euro yen at ADR, but you would have also had an entry there off of ADR. If you took the 125 ADR, that was your entry. If you took 100 ADR, that was your entry. Both of those are playing out because they're returning to origin. So all these yen moves today we've had at ADR, if you did manage to get in on them, they are all playing out quite nicely, but tricky to get into when you've got a news event that causes it. But nice reversal there at 100 ADR on the pound yen and New Zealand yen as well. Nice reversal. Nice tight one there, and that's working out very nicely. US yen, obviously, be aware this one is going to potentially get moved by the CAD in a minute. So if you are in that, it's awful entry, terrible price action. But that's all you got today on ADRs. It is only Wednesday, and we have got, I'm just keeping an eye on the time. Don't know what to do with this NASDAQ. I just don't like the fact that we've got 2 hours solid movement. So we'll see. David, the GOAT. Thank you very much, David. Thank you for the $10. Very much appreciated. I do like the emoji of the GOAT. It is very good. Thank you, David. Much appreciated. Nice to see you back. I'm just deciding what to do with this NASDAQ because I'm just worried about this huge spike, and we've got a propulsion break which they've added into that we're testing, and it's also ADR, and it's a weekly level. It's just got everything going for it for a reversal here, but that CAD news is either going to drive the US or it's going to dump the US. So I've got 160 odd pound on the table with 4 minutes to go. It's a tricky one. I'm going to close the first position, break even on the second half. If the news event is big, I won't get honoured on that. That will get slipped anyway. But I'd rather just be safe today because I've already banked this morning and hold the position. Hold half the position rather than a full position. We're going to need 150 ADR to get to 5R. So don't think we're going to make it, but we'll see what happens. So you got some weeklies, pound odd and pound CAD giving me headaches, really? We'll have a look at those in a sec. The only RSI today is the pound New Zealand, which will be equivalent to the pound odd. Yeah. We'll have a look at that in a sec. Afternoon travel. So RSIs today, pound New Zealand is extended on the 4 hour. That's still up there. This is pretty decent bearish divergence. I can't draw a straight line at the moment, but anyway, but that's bearish divergence, triple bearish divergence there. So there's a good chance this is going to come down fairly hard. It might all happen on the news. So we'll see what happens with that in a sec. But your AWRs at the moment are the Aussie CAD. So there's your weekly range done on that one. That's your higher of the week, lower of the week. So this is your weekly range. Beautiful bounce. That is exactly where I would have drawn a support zone in for the members that know what I'm talking about. Yeah, lovely bounce happening there. We've got the Aussie US as well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth entry just gone in on that one today. So average is 150 ADR away, which is a bit too far, but that is also hit its weekly range. So that is your higher of the week, lower of the week. So that is your weekly range hit. So there's a good chance of a pullback on that. Lots of propulsion gap targets to the upside on that. Very nice at the minute. And that's probably going to move in the next 2 minutes. Pound odd. There we go. Pound odd. So that is a weekly range hit. So I got out the longs on that yesterday. And it's gone much further today. So that is your weekly range hit on that one. So looking for a push back into propulsion at 150 ADR. I presume you're in short on this then from somewhere around either here or here. So 148 ADR. We've moved 590. So 150, 300, 4, 550. So that's about 5 ADR movement straight to the upside. So looking at the entire move, you're looking at somewhere around about a 6 ADR push with no profit take. So this is coming down soon. I'm not shorting this at the moment with the first RSI extensions back here. Yeah. So if you're in from that, I mean, there's not a lot you can do with this. So your first entry would have been somewhere around there. We're currently 550, so about 5 ADR. You had an exit opportunity there, but probably not enough of a pullback because you wouldn't have. Your spacing on this is unlikely to be decent. You probably got one on there, probably one on there. You've got a little accumulation there, might be one. Definitely, probably one there. You probably got another one in there. So you're probably in 5 or 6, maybe. Average is going to be somewhere in this area. So I'd be looking for an exit at this area here. So you got this resistance which turned support. So that is where I'd look for them to build a range. So that would be my target, which is about 225 ADR, which is this previous monthly level. But that's nicely extended pound odd on the weekly range. News has just hit. So strong reaction immediately on the CAD, but it's not really moving. What have they done with it? We'll come back to that pound CAD in a sec. Pound odd 3.25. So we've got the forecast. So we're waiting to see what the press conference says. So this will probably just be a whipsaw. I doubt we'll get a move off of it. But we'll have a look at it in a sec. So yeah, I would look at a pullback and aim for that if you can as a target, 225 ADR, to either get out or break even. That's where you'd want to have your average above that level so that you can get out of there. But the problem with this at the moment is the Aussies said this week they're not going to drop the interest rates. At the moment, there's no forecast to do it either in February. So we've got interest rates holding on the Australian dollar, which makes it kind of bullish to neutral. So what you're waiting for at the moment with this is some weakness in the pound, because the Aussie is unlikely to dramatically strengthen up. It may do, but I reckon we'll be back down here at some point. But you know, it's taken a week or so to get there. We just had that horrible accumulation for a week you couldn't do much with. So target 1 and target 2, Euro CAD ADR. We have got some movement on the CAD. So big strong push down on the Canadian Euro CAD. So strong CAD move. So they like this CAD. Somebody got in touch with me. Don't know if he's in here. I won't say who it is. Someone got in touch with me yesterday or Monday that was in this US dollar CAD squeeze and asked for my advice on what to do here. And I said, basically, I think it was on Monday. I got to it too late. And they said, should I get out and just cut it in case it pops? Or should I hold it, or what should I do? So I basically said, if I was you looking at the price action, this was Monday, so it was here. Yeah. I said, looking at the price action, and it was as it was at this point, I would hold it basically and stick a aggressive drawdown control position on with a half an ADR on it and make that your last attempt to get out of this thing. And if it gets to that stop loss, shut it. And then by the time I got to his message, he messaged me and said, I've made the decision, I've shut it anyway. And it's always one of those things when you get to the point where you're thinking, I've got to cut this entire position because it's just not worked. It's sod's law. As soon as you do that, there'll be some news, and that news will be what does that unwinding of the position. And, you know, I said we had news this week coming up on the US and the CAD in the form of CPI and interest rates. If it's going to go, it's going to go this week. So just one of those things. Sorry, Ben, let me just get rid of that. Broker. It's always the broker. So we've got some big moves on that. New Zealand dollar CAD ADR. So yeah, big strong move on that Canadian. What's my exposure on the CAD? 2 long, 1 short. Happy days. Yeah, pound CAD pound odd we've just covered. Pound New Zealand we will also cover. That's potentially the same as the pound odd, pretty much. So same sort of thing. A bit more orderly this one. So you know, we've had a fairly decent. We've had almost a 50% retracement on that leg. Actually, well, it's not 50%, is it? It's more like 38. But we've had a decent retracement, which should have been an exit. So pull back on that. So that's a good looking short entry. That's extended on 125 of its weekly range. So that's your weekly low. So it's basically done 125% of its weekly range in the last day and a bit. We've also got New Zealand CAD extended. That one, obviously, be wary of that, trying to mean revert it, because obviously we just had the news. New Zealand yen and New Zealand US. That's a bit of a mess. So that's basically done its weekly range high to low on Monday, didn't it? So nothing you can do with that one. New Zealand US. So reversal there off of the back of that weekly extension. So what was the other one, David, you're in? Pound CAD. So pound CAD, obviously, I assume you're in short on this one from maybe there or there, roughly there. So yeah, I mean, that's not particularly bad. That's 350 off of 100 ADR, so 3.5 ADR. And this move, if the Bank of Canada come out in the press conference now and say, we're not going to drop interest rates, or we're going to fall in line with the US, or whatever they say that is potentially bullish, you'll find this back down here probably by the end of the day, if not tomorrow. So you should get an exit on this. Market's obviously trying to unwind the current leg at the moment. So yeah, about time. They're just using the interest rate announcement to unwind the leg. Whether or not they continue to do that will depend on what happens in the press conference. But this whole area here is one big propulsion move. So we've been talking in the members stream this week about supply and demand. This is your demand area. So that would be my retest. They should get down to there at least, if not, depending on what happens with the US and the Canadian dollar. The pound at the moment, though, mess. Bailey's not giving anything away. We've got no idea what's going on with this pound, but that's a beautiful reversal retest, although that is just caused by the news. So we'll see. Afternoon travel, already said yes. Afternoon to you. Outro as expected. Could you show the P&L to see the trades you are in? 10-4. Thank you for the outlook. 10-4. Roger, tea kettle barbecue. Afternoon, your thoughts on euro pound? Let me just quickly check the NASDAQ. Oh, good boy. Okay, so we're just approaching weekly high. This is parabolic, this thing. I'm just locking some more in. Wrong decision. It's double wrong decision day today, isn't it? Shouldn't have got out of the FTSE and shouldn't have got out of the NASDAQ. But I wasn't expecting that. Very big, strong move on the NASDAQ. Have we got earnings out? What's the date? No, 11th of December. What am I doing all the way back there? Adobe, no. GameStop. Aftermarket yesterday. GameStop. Has anybody, oh, GameStop done a massive GameStop purchase, have they? No, nothing going on there. Yeah, just big move on the NAS today. Not quite sure why the market is quite so strong on that, but I'll run with it. Dow doing totally the opposite. What can you do? Euro pound. So so we've just broken out the lows on the euro pound. I think that is an all-time low, isn't it? No, it's not quite. Yeah, so these orange lines that I've got drawn in are that little support there and that little support there. So this is going back to January 2022, so nearly 3 years ago. So that is your all-time low there. Obviously we have been below that level, but I mean, I'm talking all-time low since 2016, so a decade low. So that is your decade low that we're coming up to basically there. So you're going to get a reaction there because the entire market is going to be watching that level. So we are 150 ADR away. So I would leave it alone until you get down there. It is an extension. Obviously, if you're using the EA, any kind of EA that's getting you in automatically, it's probably already done it. So yeah, there's an opportunity to get in on this one for a bounce play off of that low. It's more of a long-term swing play. Swaps on this to long it are not too bad, but I am looking for short only at the moment. So it's not the sort of trade that I would take at the minute. That was my last entry short there. So not for me personally, but if you get an ADR on this today and you're anywhere down here, even if it does pierce that level, you're going to find a lot of buying interest at that point. The trouble is this euro has got the power to break that level because if we go back to the news, monetary policy no longer clearly needs to be in a restrictive territory. So weakening of interest rates, further cuts in January. Not quite sure why it's powering up, but it is. Interpace make more gradual. So if you go back, there we go. Traders add to ECB rate cut bets, price in 158 basis points through 2025. So we're looking for 1.5% drop in 2025. So if you look at roughly dropping by 0.25% every month to every other month, it looks like we're going to get consistent rate cuts for the entire year of 2025. That's going to do nothing but drop the euro. So I think there's a good chance of continual drop on that euro. So this level that we're getting to, we're probably going to get a bounce off of it. We usually do at major support resistance, at least have a reaction. But whether that reaction can hold, I suspect probably not. But there's a hell of a lot that can go on at the moment with everything that's going on in Syria and Russia and everything. There's flashpoints everywhere. And as soon as one of those sparks a NATO involvement, the whole of Europe is involved, that is going to affect the Eurozone currency, and the currency is going to struggle. So, however, it could all take off. You just don't know. But I would say good bounce point, and then obviously down. But if you the time frames that I trade, hourly, 4 hourly, I'm not that worried if it does break that level. It's not going to break that level and fall through the floor. It's going to break that level and then just trend down. So as long as it's trending, we can get in and out regardless of what it does. I'm at break even on CAD Yen after having taken profit on 2 longs. Sitting around for a week and a half. I should close right since I profited on the position. Yeah, I mean, if you've made money on it, what I would always do in this type of situation is rather than just take it off, I'd stick a trailing stop on it. So what I would tend to do is if I guess you've obviously banked something there, you've banked something there, you've got something up there, something down here, and that's your break even. So what I would do is, if you've banked 0.5% or 1% or something there, and that is going to cost you 0.2%, stick a trailing stop of whatever the ATR is at the moment. It's difficult to tell, isn't it? But I would stick a trailing stop of something like 30 pips on it. A quarter of an ADR to half an ADR. Yeah, and just if this does continue today, yeah, the Bank of Canada press conference is coming up in half an hour. If they come out massively bullish, you're going to be up here. There's no point in taking it off here. If they come out massively bearish, you're going to be back down here. So your trading stop will take you out. But depending on where your break even is, if the break even was there, for example, I would just measure that distance right now and say, let the EA get you out. Let the trading stop get you out. It's either going to do that or it's going to do that in the next half an hour to an hour. If it does that, fine. If it does that, happy days. But don't make the decision now because the candle's bullish. Look. Pound CAD. So CAD is still rallying. Pound CAD ADR. Just need to see what's going on here. I haven't banked anything today. Needs to get out of that. US dollar CAD ADR. I can feel the tension releasing from anybody that is short on US dollar CAD at the moment. Mind you, the tension was releasing on Monday. But anyway, good move. Euro CAD. So that's on its way to TP. CAD Swiss. Just going to let them run, I think. I'm going to give them a little bit more room, just because we've got the news. Euro CAD, move that down. I'm targeting 1 ADR anyway, which is 88. So I'm going to let the EA get me out, because the EA is going to get me out at 1 ADR in profit anyway. So I might as well just stick it down. If we get a nice big spike on news, I might get those TPs hit before the EA executes the exits anyway. But looking good. Do you conduct a yearly review? What do you mean by a yearly review? What, a look back at the year like they do on Channel 4, where we have the review of the year and we look at what's happened during the year? Or for me personally, I don't really do personally. I don't really do a review of the year. I don't do a YouTube video or anything on it, but I always am looking at my trading. So I tend to do my reviews, if you like, if that's what you want to call them, quarterly. So I look at my P&Ls periodically, but I don't specifically do the year. Doesn't tend to make any difference, really. But no is the answer. Can't give you anything more concrete than that. 125 we're at now, ADR on the NASDAQ. We are at this high here. So this is previous day's high. This is Monday's high of the week. I hate candlesticks this big, because they tend to do that at some point. Let's let it run. Let me just quickly see what's going on with my DAX. Nothing. Right. So so that's basically the situation at the moment. I've just banked something. What have I just banked? Have banked. It's today, isn't it? That's a CAD Swiss just gone in the bank. So that's 1 ADR. TP. 43 pips. 1 ADR. So EA's just banked that for me in propulsion. So that's half of my long exposure gone on the CAD. So I'll just let the other half run, which is the Euro CAD. All good. So that's all the ADRs and AWRs and the RSIs. I'm not going to plan to go through everything today. I don't think there's an awful lot of point in doing too much analysis today, because it's one of those weeks where today and tomorrow, and to a certain extent a little bit on Friday with the pound GDP, everything's going to change potentially. So the CPI numbers haven't changed the US. This has changed the CAD, because we can see there's a massive move going on the CAD, or rather the CAD's doing that, so my trade's doing that. We've got the press conference, which is potentially going to influence the CAD direction. That could also influence the US dollar direction. Tomorrow morning, we've got unemployment on the Aussie, which will affect the Aussie and New Zealand in one way or the other. Then we've got the Swiss rates. If there's a massive shift in the Swiss, that will affect every currency, because when the Swiss is used as safe haven, and it's used as a general storage device, basically, when you're out of other currencies or out of other commodities, your money is put into the Swiss. If there's a massive change in that tomorrow, which is unexpected, and they do it, we looked at it, didn't we? 4 out of 5 of the last interest rates, they have told us the wrong thing. 3 out of the last 5. Yeah. They've told us something different to what they've done. So basically, that there's not a lot of point in doing analysis on, because if that happens tomorrow and there's a difference in interest rates, everything's going to move. There'll be a massive reshuffling of finances. And then we've got the euro rate in the afternoon. They're expected to drop. Lagarde is expected to come out bearish. So there's going to be a potentially massive move in the euro tomorrow. So of the majors, we've got the euro, the Swiss, the Aussie, the CAD, and the US dollar all having news. So, you know, I can do as much technical analysis as I like on it today, but tomorrow it's going to be totally different. So it's irrelevant really looking at anything in depth. But if there's any positions you're in, anything you want to look at specifically, obviously let me know and I can look at it. But this week is one of those weeks where you just got so much news. It all goes a little bit crazy. So we will see. Messed up the trailing stop loss on the CAD yen. I did 35 points, thinking 35 pips, but it was 3.5 pips. You didn't get time to change it. I have done that many times. It's one of the I've moved away from pips completely. Although my old I say they're old dashboards, they all still work and do exactly what they're meant to do. But you know, I used to do everything in pips, but most of the products that I build work in pipettes. So I always just basically measure that, right? And whatever that number says, so there it says 348 or 340. Whenever I put a trailing stop on, that's the number you put in. If you put in 34, you're giving it that much room. I've done it so many times, which is why you'll see on new products that I have out there, everything is working on pipettes. So the new EA I've been working on, the support resistance, it measures ATR as 836. That's 83.6 pips. But I'm using 836 because I need to see what it is properly. I think everything should be measured in exactly the measurement in MT4, MT5, rather than we try to rationalize everything into pips, and it's just not, it makes you have these mistakes. And also there's no standardized language in the industry. Yeah. So someone will come out and sell a signal service that boasts making 5,000 pips a month. They're just trading one trade on the US dollar ZAR and it moved 5,000 pips. In reality, it moved like 0.5%, but 5,000 pips on the US dollar ZAR and 5,000 pips on the CAD yen, very different measurement, isn't it? So I don't think pips should be used at all. Everything should be measured in average daily range. So if this thing moves on average, whatever, in this case, 131 pips or 1,311 pipettes, that's what it moves. That's what we should be doing everything by, what the movement is. Thanks for the follow, whoever that was. Heel, welcome aboard. Nice work. You know what I mean, Bogdan? No, I don't. I don't know what you mean. Your lips still. Are you talking about the new EA? Right. Okay. Yeah. If that's what you're talking about. It's a secret. Don't tell everybody. I've just finished a video on it actually this morning. This is why I'm a bit hoarse. Do you know what I've done? You're either going to love this or you're going to hate this. I've always recorded my own videos, yeah. And why can't I? Where's the playback gone? No, I don't know. I've always recorded my own videos and done my own voiceovers on everything, right? And I've got to the point now, I think, where AI is there enough that it can do the talking for me to save my voice. So I've recorded a video this morning, right, for a new EA. And I decided to use a voiceover for it. And this is what it sounds like.
Is a tool designed for traders to automate supply and demand or support and resistance trading. It works on any time frame and can be used to automate range trading or trend pullback trading. Simply.
Yeah, so that's the new voice. That is going to be me moving forward. There's about 100 different voices you can use. But the trouble with trying to record videos, for me anyway, is I'm a perfectionist and it has to be spot on. If I type it out and give it to AI, it just reads it perfectly. When I'm trying to record it myself, my head starts going, I'm going to take over from here and waffle. And this is why my educational videos for my products tend to last somewhere in the region of half an hour to 2 hours, because I just go on and go into immense detail about everything I do. So this new video is 4 minutes long, and it covers absolutely everything you need to know. And I've got it down to 4 minutes because it's not waffling. And I think this is the brilliant thing about AI. It just gets straight to the point. I said, this is what it does. Write me a script. And it went, this is what you need. And it's brilliant. So all my videos moving forward are going to have different voices. I'm just going to pick a different one for every video I do. I will still obviously do my own content when I'm doing live streams and when I'm doing my members streams and stuff. But any videos I record and put up, I'm not going to bother talking anymore. Anyway, you'll either love it or hate it, but you'll have to give me your feedback when it comes out, which will be tomorrow, I think. But anyway. Right. Let me just quickly see what the NAS is up to. Still going, nearly 4R on the NAS. I'm trailing this up. This is going to dive at some point, so it's not giving any reason to get out at the moment, though. I might just stick it underneath that last bear candle, because that's the last bear move we had. They weren't able to take control, so I'm sticking under that until the bears win that battle. We ain't going anywhere but up. So 5R target is coming up. Nice move. We're out the weekly high as well, so this is a new high of the week. Is this even an all-time high? This might even be an all-time high. Yeah, we're back up at all-time highs, look. So new high of the century, highest point ever for the NASDAQ. This is what I keep saying. Yeah, these indices are manufactured to go up. They do not do anything but make new highs every year, because the companies in here are making profit. If the companies in here are not making profit, they fall out the NASDAQ index and get replaced by a company that is making profit. That's all it can do. Yeah, if you stagnate, you drop in the rankings. Your shareholders get cross, replace the board, and put someone in charge that does make profit. All it does goes up. So always going to get all-time highs. But they do tend to struggle when you make an all-time high. It does tend to weaken a little bit. So this is the Santa rally I spoke about at the beginning of December. I said we've potentially got a Santa rally coming. There she blows. So yeah, we've got one. It works. We're kind of used to it now. Everyone is using robo voices. I know. But we still love the good old me waffle. I know. I will still be here and I still will be waffling. It's just when you're doing videos, what I do with a video is I write a script. So I write a script out that I'm going to say. I start saying it and then I go off on one. So there'll be a sentence. I will read a sentence out and then I will expand on that sentence for 10 minutes and come back to the next bit. There's no need for me to expand on that sentence for 10 minutes because the sentence I've typed sums up what I want to say, but I just can't control my waffle. So as you can see, we are now 45 minutes in. Not done a lot, have we? But that's basically the thing I like about it. What I want to do, and I'm going to, over the break period, I'm going to try and do this for all of my products. If you look at like the Position Trader EA video, yeah, what I want to do is have a video which is 10 minutes, 5 minutes, which explains this, right? We're going to talk about the Position Trader EA. An hour, right? It's not that complicated. It's not an hour. So what I want to do is I want to write a script for this, and I want to write a script for every single product I have. That is a quick summary like this, 4 minutes. I managed to do it at some point in the past, but at some point in this, since I recorded that video, however many years ago that was, and now I can't seem to stop talking for an hour. So yeah, if you write a script and stick it into the AI system that I've got, it basically just does it and it spits it out. And I even had to do an extra bit of script because I thought I need to write more. It's hard. It's very hard to keep me under control. But anyway, I've done it. So there you go. Hint for those of you who aren't in the member streams. There's a new EA. I'm old school. I'll hate it just like I hate foreign call centers. Yep, I'm exactly the same with call centers. I had to phone Amazon the other day. Right, I couldn't log into my Amazon account, which panicked me a little bit, but I couldn't log into my Amazon account. So I thought, right, that's fine. I'll try it on another machine. So I tried it on the other machine and it worked. So I thought, that's weird. So I went back to try it on the other machine that I couldn't log in on, and it said your passcode is wrong, or your passcode pin or whatever it was is wrong. So I looked up and they were like, well, just log into your account and remove the pin. So I went, all right. I went into the other machine, went into my account, removed the pin, and then tried to log in, and it went, you haven't got a pin. I was like, I know. It just told me to remove it. So I come back to log in on this machine again to activate the pin again, and I can't get in. I'm locked out. So I'm now locked out of all of my devices. So I do the usual password recovery crap, and it doesn't work. So I phone Amazon, get through to a call center somewhere, don't know where, wasn't in the UK anyway, or America, it was somewhere else. And she basically said, have you changed your password? I went, yeah, I've done that, but it doesn't work. I'll send you a password reminder link so you can reset your password. I'd just done that, and I told you it didn't work. So she sends me one, but her one works. And what have I got to do as soon as I log in? Set up a new PIN. So I set up a new PIN, go to log in on my other device, it tells me I haven't got a PIN. Round and round and round in circles. You try explaining that to someone in Bangladesh. Nothing against people in Bangladesh, obviously, but there's a communication issue sometimes where you just can't get across what the problem is. I did finally manage to get in, and I ordered my $2.99 thing I wanted for free delivery on Prime. But anyway, there you go. Talking about call centers. See, this is the thing. You send me off on these waffles and we don't get anything done. But anyway, there are tools that can replicate your voice with an audio sample to create a... Oh, is there? My wife just told me and said, have they not got a tool yet that can replicate your voice? Where is it? Do you know? Send me a link. I'm into that. If I can give some samples of me, does it automatically go off into waffle? If I can do a sample of me and have that be the robo me, I think that would be much better than using the guy that I've got. I can't remember what his name is. Perry or something. There's loads of them. Loads of them. I also was going to use an avatar that talks for me as well, but then I thought that's a little bit weird. Yeah, having an oriental version of me talking in my voice, that would throw everybody off, wouldn't it? But yeah, send me a link if you've got one. I'm happy to pay for that because it just saves my voice. I hate trying to do videos because it's the editing process that kills me. I have to edit 90% of what I say out because I just go off on one, and then 10-minute script turns into 2 hours, as this rant is going on. Yeah, it's that prime example. Right, so no one's got anything else they want to look at. There's not a lot else I've really got to cover today. Nasdaq's starting to reverse. Just going to move up a little bit more underneath that low. If this propulsion gap doesn't hold, we're likely to reverse from here. This is the weekly high that we are testing right now. So we may struggle here and just come back and pull back before we start a new leg up. So we'll see. But I will, if you want to trail that, it's 533 for me. So yeah, I'm not going to do any more analysis today. I've got these positions on at the moment. The main problem I've got is Euro odd at the minute. Oh, you git. I've missed my next short on it as well. This is where I needed my new EA. Yeah, that's where I should have had another short on, and my average should be there. I've missed it now. So reversal alert's just gone in. If we retest that, I'm just going to stick an alert there. If we retest that level, I'm going to take another one. But that is my only real problem at the moment, Euro odd. I've just got stuck in it from back here. So first entry was all the way back there, which was an ADR 125. It was a lovely hook on the ADR, and it literally hit that, bounced, and it hasn't looked back. So I got stuck in it with two positions on, sorry, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And then we had the news, which took me into a third, fourth, and just stuck. Basically, can't get out of this one at the minute. So I'm looking for a push back into propulsion. You can see my TPs here. So I'm looking for a retest of accumulation, but I'm worried about this level here. So I would have loved my average to get up there to get an exit here, just to get out of this one, but I've missed it. So if this pushes up again today and we retest the weekly high from last week, we've got a double monthly coming up there. So that is your last month's high and the previous month's high. And we've reacted at that weekly high. So we know we've got sellers stepping in here. They're probably part of this gang. So that is exactly where I'd love to get another position on. Just didn't quite get it today. So if it does push back up there, I'll be taking another short on that. Other than that, the only other thing that's got any drawdown is Aussie US. And that will be because of the Australian news. We've got the Aussie unemployment coming out. Press conference going on at the minute. %70 chance of more drops in January. Doesn't explain why this Canadian dollar is strengthening at all. Press conference doesn't seem to have got underway yet. 3:30, yeah, because it's in 7 minutes. When the crude oil comes out. So this is the only thing I'm stuck on at the moment, obviously, as well. And we've got the Aussie unemployment rate tomorrow. So if that unemployment rate tomorrow comes out at anything less than 4.2, we're going to get a spike on the Aussie. So that will get me out. So I'm looking for the unemployment rate to remain stable, or better still, to come down tomorrow morning. So we're on 4.1. We're forecasting a 4.2. So if we get a 4.1, or even if we get lower, I don't think that would ever happen. But if we did manage to get a 4, we're going to be back up here. So 150 ADR, a bit tricky to get out of this one at the moment. But again, it's just one of those ones I've got stuck in. I did take a partial on it. So I've already taken profit on it on Monday when we had the news. So I took that off because we obviously had the news coming out on Tuesday morning. Was it Tuesday? Yeah. So there's your rate. So tomorrow, obviously, we could well be back up here. But obviously, market structure on this is very bearish at the moment. So if I can get out at a break even on this, as I've already banked profit on it, I probably will do that. But other than that, everything else is just sitting around at the minute, not really doing anything. For the members who are in here, the other strategies we've got running on forward test. The trend pullback strategy is sitting in 2.5% profit at the moment open. We've banked 5% this month so far. So a bit of loss this week so far. Nothing, haven't banked anything yet this week. But as I said, it's a trend strategy. So, you know, we're waiting for a trend. Doesn't make money when it doesn't trend. So when we've got a trend underway, that banks very nicely. As you can see, we're putting in 4%, 6% a day type thing when we're trending. When we're not trending, we just hemorrhage small amounts. So at the minute, we've got the potential to bank 2.7, but that's still ticking along quite nicely. Lazy trader strategy. We're up 3.37 on the month, 5% drawdown. And again, we've got some anomalies with this at the moment, some problems which I haven't managed to look at coding out yet. But again, we had another weird one yesterday. It took a long and a short. I've got to check the code as to why this is happening. I don't understand why that's doing that, because the logic says if this is that, do that. If it's not, do the other. There is no logic that says you can do both. So I'm going to recode it so that it physically is impossible to take two trades in opposite directions, which is easy to do. But the way I've coded it, the logic shouldn't let that happen anyway. So there's either a bug in the code or I've incorrectly coded the logic. But it doesn't matter, as we discussed in the members stream on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was. It just makes money if the market moves up and down anyway. So and that's basically what it does. So that's good. And that's the new EA running, which is banked 1.5% so far. But this is me trading, discretionary. So there we go. Yes, the Robo Lee may be even better. My wife has already asked for a Robo version of me for Christmas. Haha, because she can't switch it, so she can switch it off. Fair enough. Yeah, it would be very nice to be able to save the vocal cords. So basically what I could do is I could type out what I'm going to do in the live streams every day, sit here and mime to myself, couldn't I? And let it talk, and I'll just do the actions. That'd be amazing. Just going to replace ourselves, aren't we? Terminator is coming. Mark my words. Can you find an AI that waffles? I probably could. Well, AI does waffle, doesn't it? Have you used AI? The AI that comes built into here, like, oh my God, Copilot. This is my Copilot. It doesn't half waffle. I wonder if I can use. Hi, Jarvis. His name's Jarvis, by the way.
Ah, Jarvis. How's Jarvis doing?
Well, you're Jarvis.
Oh, I see. That's a great name. So what can your Jarvis do for you today?
Can you waffle?
Sorry, that's not in my skill set. But I can definitely keep you company and chat about all sorts of things. What's on your mind?
Well, which way's the US dollar going today?
I can't track live financial information or exchange rates. Do you follow currency trends a lot? Or was this just a sudden interest?
Trend trading's for idiots. Mean reversion's where it's at.
Ah, the good old days of meme stocks and sky-high prices. Nostalgic for those wild market rides or just reminiscing about the chaos?
Bye, Jarvis.
Take care, Lee.
That's Jarvis. He's my AI. But you see how rubbish it is, yeah? It's really good at doing some things. Like if I ask him a question about coding, what the weather's going to be and stuff like that, he's fine. But you ask him anything that's actually useful that could help you, it's not in my repertoire. Rubbish. But that's Microsoft's version, Copilot. It's really cool. You just say, hey, Jarvis. Oh, you got to wake him up.
Hey, Lee. Ready when you are.
So what should we ask him? Someone come up with a question.
Well, what's been on your mind lately? Anything you want to get a fresh perspective on?
Who's going to be the new James Bond?
Ah, £1,000,000 question. If I had insider knowledge on that, I'd be at MI6 myself. Who would you want to see sipping martinis and pulling off spy gadgets? Maybe someone unexpected.
What is the meaning of life?
The ultimate question. Some say it's about seeking happiness. Others lean towards leaving a legacy. Maybe it's all about those fleeting, profound moments that make us feel truly alive. Love, connection, and discovery. What do you think gives life its meaning?
I don't know.
That's fair. It's a big thing to ponder. Maybe the journey of figuring it out is just as important as the final answer. What makes you feel most excited or
Hold on a minute, Jarvis. I've got a question. Which is better, MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5?
MetaTrader 5 has some newer features and more advanced tools compared to MetaTrader 4. But the better choice really depends on what you need. MT5 supports more order types and has a more flexible trading system. So think about what suits your trading style and goals best. Are you more into the advanced features or do you prefer to stick with the classic?
Stick with the classic. It's stable. MT5's crap.
Gotcha. A classic case of if it ain't.
Anyway, go on. But that's Copilot. You should, if you've got Windows 11, you've got it. It's there. It's really cool because we sit there at night. It's like for things like that you're watching on television and you go like, what's that guy been in? Who's the lead character in Peaky Blinders and what's he been in before? He just goes to IMDb and lists off everything the guy's been in, and it's like brilliant. It's really good for stuff like that. But God, what's the square root of -1? This is a test.
Hi Lee, what can I do for you today?
What's the square root of -1?
The square root of -1 is an imaginary number called I. Anything else you'd want to know about imaginary numbers?
What? Okay, there's your answer, Virginia. It's I, apparently. I don't know.
Well, seems like she's in good hands with you. Imaginary numbers can definitely add a twist to maths. Anything else I can help you with?
No, should I shut my Euro US dollar short at the moment?
I can't offer personalized financial advice, but I can help you think through some general factors. Consider your strategy, how the market's behaving, and your risk tolerance. Does closing the position align with your goals?
Well, I could spend the $125 on a meal.
That is one way to look at it. Always a trade-off between securing a profit and reinvesting. Do you find making these decisions stressful?
Yes, very stressful.
Well, I can imagine. But hey, that's the balancing act of trading. If it's becoming too stressful, maybe it's worth reassessing your plans and priorities. Want to shift focus to something lighter? Or keep talking through this?
Bye-bye.
Take care, Lee.
Should we do an entire stream on that? What a cool thing. Let's just do a stream where everybody comes up with a question for Jarvis and see if we can get some interesting facts out of him. Anyway, so he doesn't know whether I should shut my Euro US dollar short. I'm going to hold it because I think we're probably coming down to ADR. So we're either coming down to last week's, previous week's, or monthly. Obviously, there's my ultimate target. So there we go. Don't talk bad about Jarvis. He'll remember you in the future. I know. I'll be worried about that. He's going to grow a little thing in the middle of his head, which is going to get taken by a bloke with big hands and is going to blow up the universe. Hey, what do I know? Right, I'll leave it there because I'm obviously waffling because there's nothing much going on at the moment. So we've still got movement on that CAD. Watch the... there's the press conference underway in Canada at the moment.
Elevated wage increases.
Oh my God. Look at him. Why are they all so old? Yeah, watch the news for the CAD. Obviously, there's a possibility that they're going to rally it or dump it. So be careful. US dollar is powering up at the moment as well. NASDAQ will have come down, I presume. Yeah. So a little bit of a pop down in the NAS. We got that. I'm out of the second half of that now, so that's all in the bank. And that's about it really for today. So potential movement off the back of that today, that CAD press conference. So just bear that in mind, and we'll get some movement on the US as well if the CAD takes off. So if you've got anything Australian related open at the moment, you can bank profit in. Do that before end of day, because tomorrow it could be gone. So any exposure you've got on Aussie, so I've got Aussie CAD, Aussie New Zealand, and Aussie US. I've got nothing in profit on any of those at the moment, so nothing for me to do with them. But obviously tomorrow those could move potentially quite a lot. And it's a members stream tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So I haven't got a specific plan for tomorrow's stream. Nobody's come up with anything they want to do specifically. So I'm going to do some more position trading stuff tomorrow probably. And I have got a new EA which is coming out at the moment, which I'm going to press the button on getting out tomorrow as well, when I've got the video finalized and up. So you can have a look at that as well. But I'll be back on Friday, and Friday basically is going to be the last one for December. So I might do some more ad hoc ones during the next 2 weeks, but obviously the market tends to quieten down next week and the week after in the run up to Christmas. In fact, it's less than where are we? The 11th, aren't we? So yeah, it's 2 weeks today, Christmas. So there's next week, and then that week after is just dead. So if you look at your calendar, the week before Christmas typically is low liquidity. So this week coming, we got this week here. So this next week, we've got CAD CPI, it's PMI week basically. We've got the Fed rate coming out as well. Oh my God, there's so much news next week. It's the maybe I should stream next week. It's a massive week, isn't it? I might do some ad hoc streams next week rather than sticking to a schedule. I might just, do the interest rate. I might stream for the interest rate announcements and the CPIs and things. Mind you, it's at 7 o'clock, that one, isn't it? So we've got the Bank of Japan rate as well. Wow, it's interest rate week. Look at that. Everything is next week. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that week typically, not this week, this year, but that week is typically quite low liquidity and not a lot of movement. And then obviously this week is Christmas, so Christmas Eve is dead. No one's in on Mondays, so everybody takes this week off, so the market just does not move that week. So I tend to come back on the 3rd of January. So it will be, for me this year, it will be the 6th of Jan, which will be when I'm back. Yeah, so that'll be my first day proper back trading, because this week will be dead because it's New Year. The period between Christmas and New Year is dead. Christmas week is dead, so it's literally next week. But I was planning to take all of next week off as well. However, there's a hell of a lot of news, so what I might do is just squeeze 2 or 3 streams in during next week at strategic points when the interest rates are. So just preparing for next week. Monday is PMI day. Tuesday is CAD CPI. Wednesday is FOMC and Fed interest rate. Thursday of Bank of Japan and UK interest rate. And unemployment for the US. And then on Friday, it's quiet. So I might do I might stream that on Thursday, because then I can go over the FOMC statement. Wednesday morning, I might do an 8 o'clock, because then I can go over the CPI numbers and cover the CAD CPI from the previous day. And I might do one on Monday. At some point, probably afternoon, because then we can look at all the PMI figures. I'll have a think about that. So what I might do is a Monday PM, a Wednesday AM, and a Thursday lunch. So 12 o'clock UK, because that covers all the news basically. So I'll put it out in Telegram and in Discord. But I was planning Friday to be the last stream. So I just didn't realize we had so much news. Basically, what I do is at the end of this week, typically, I turn the EA off, basically, on any new positions. So I just let the EA manage out these positions that are open, but I don't take any new positions over the Christmas period, because you tend to just get a load of slippage and high spreads. But I would suspect there's a little more volatility next week, and a little more volume with the amount of news that we've got. I didn't realize it's so busy, which is a bit annoying, but there goes my Christmas plans. Anyway, I'm trading every session. My journal shows I make okay returns over Christmas. Depends what you're doing. If you're trading intraday, it's fine. You get movement intraday. You get a lot of range bound intraday. For me, position trading wise, you tend to get a lot of within ADR movement, which means that you tend to do a lot of that. And if you've got positions on, they tend to go into drawdown if they don't hit target, and you sit in them for the entire week. Then you sit in them over the Christmas week. Then you sit in them over the New Year week. And you end up getting into, what in my experience with position trading, this is, you tend to get into positions just before Christmas and you hold them for 3 weeks. If you got into stuff that cost you swaps, you're literally just sitting there paying swap fees for 3 weeks. Pointless. Because the market doesn't tend to actually manage to get anywhere a lot of the time. But intraday it will move. So if you're trading 5-minute time frames in intraday strategies, you'll be all right. But I haven't traded indices over Christmas period, so I don't know. However, I have I've got 3 Top Step accounts going at the moment. One which is doing okay, and the other 2 which I blew. And instead of buying resets for them, I thought I'll just let them reset automatically at renewal. Renewal was today. So as of tomorrow, I'll have 2 new Top Step accounts to trade. So I might hold those over Christmas, trade those over Christmas just for some fun, to see if I can get those over the line and get funded on those 2 accounts. So maybe I'll do that as well in the lives. Something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I'll put it out in Discord and Telegram. All right. Okay, so have a good day. Anything else you need, let me know. I'll be back for the member stream tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and then back on Friday at 8 o'clock for the recap of the week, Q&A style stuff, and then we'll plan out from there where we're going. All right. Have a good one. Anything you need, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you next time.